Assassinate 17 back again, this time on expansion cards, particularly graphics cards, and right off the bat I can tell which graphics card will fit in which expansion slot, and that's by looking at the bus type, the BUS type. And so you can see there's a difference between the two connectors. Here we've got a series of one, a long one and a short one, but here we've got a connector that has no gold connections, no metal going there. Then we've got a really long one, a short one, and then another small thing with no metal connectors on it. And this means that the one that looks like this, with the short, long, short, that's PCI. That's an old standard. No, it's not that old now, still used a little bit, but that will go in those type of slots. Whereas this one, with the clip and the really long one and then the really short one, and then the second like null clip again, will go in the PCI-E clip slot. And so on the back of them you always have a label, tell you what graphics card this is. The focus isn't too good this time, but this is a GeForce 6200, and this is a GeForce 9400 GT. Okay then, so we turn them over and we notice lots of capacitors again. A problem with graphics cards, sometimes capacitors will blow, electrolyte leaking, all that jazz. And what we see here is we have a heatsink. That under this will be the graphics card's GPU, the graphical processing unit, and this heatsink is keeping it cool. And over here we can see there's another set of chips. Now I don't know this for sure, but there's two screw holes here, over there, one over there, and then we've got another screw hole here. Now my theory is that you could probably have another heatsink along here that connects, that gets locked in through those two holes at the top, just to keep these chips cool, but I'm not sure if that's entirely true. Now if I flip the other one over, I'll bring it a little bit closer, we can see that instead of a heatsink, this one's got a fan, and that's powered by an onboard connector right there. See a little connector, and that covers most of it, so the little fan will be spinning, keeping it cool, and it'll have a heatsink under all this as well. And that's what that one looks like. This is considerably smaller, which probably means it is more recent, so it's probably going to use like a smaller GPU, etc., and this will have like more advanced technology in it, not necessarily making it better, well in this case it does, but it's just means it's more recent, it's more up to date. But let's take a look at the input outputs, because just like PC, it's got a little black back plate, and so we've got S-Video, DVI, VGA, and these two have the screw-in connectors. And on the back of mine we've got the same type of thing, we've got VGA, S-Video and DVI. There is a third connector that's appearing on more recent graphics cards now, and more recent ones, is that sometimes now you do get a HDMI connector for your HD videos if you've got a Blu-ray player, etc. And you get those sometimes. I'm just going to show you how an installation of a graphics card would go. First of all, you would take your graphics card and you go to your motherboard. Motherboard will obviously be in the case unless you've got some kind of weird setup going on. You'd position it right, so the back plate faces also the input output plate there. You take it, position it. There's a clear divide there, so you know when you're in place. And oh, I can't push it in because as you can see there's a thing there. 1 second. Just going to set the clicker down. Okay then, so you can see there, we just give it a push and it will clip in. You can see that's clipped in, and that will go at the case, that will keep it solid. And here we have a couple of screw holes. You would screw that into a place on the outside of the case to make sure it keeps secure and it doesn't wobble in its slot. If I just remove this, relatively easy to remove. Also, I would always, just as a just as a habit thing. I would always keep it facing down so that none of this gets scratched if you lay it the other way, and also the connectors are left off the ground. You should rarely ever touch the connectors, and if possible just never do it. Okay, PCI-E, sorry. It's got that clip at the end, that keeps it also secure. Let me just set the camera down for a second. Again, line up the back with the back plate, and if I can just show you, we can just see that clip on that piece on the graphics card. That little foot is going to get secured in that blue clip, and the rest of it is just going to get sunk in. Okay, so we just again give it a push. You'll hear it all clip in, and as you can see, that's clicked in. It's all thoroughly in, and that will then go below the motherboard again, keeping it solid. And again, we've got the screw holes on the side. Now, when you remove the PCIe cards, you've got to remember that these clips are there, and you can't just pull them out. You have to take the clip from this side and then lift to get it past the clip, and then you just lift to the other side. It's gone back in. There we go. So that has shown the installation and removal of two graphics cards of two different bus types. There is a third bus type called AGP, but that is very rarely used now, but it does look similar to these. It doesn't have a clip. I think they come in a brown colour as well, I can't really confirm that. So that's that. My next video is going to be showing RAM, the installation, some information and all that. I'll see you later.